you. At the end of her talk last week, Mary mentioned that she had just received in her email this quote from Yongey Mingyo Rinpoche, who was embarking, an abbot who was embarking on a 3-year retreat journey. And she quoted him, what he said to his community: everything you ever wanted is right here in this present moment of awareness. Someone else then remarked that they had received that email too. And I remembered that I had received that email too. So all of that is a happy reminder that many people receive Father Richard Rohr's daily meditations. That's where she got it. But I'd like to use that as a springboard, as a launching pad for my talk today. My favorite presentation of that wonderful truth is from Father Tony DeMello, the great Jesuit interfaith pioneer, Indian American, who in the 70s and 80s. And at one point he was giving a nationally broadcast lecture or presentation to college students. And he said very dramatically the same thing. He said, this may take you 5 minutes to understand, or it may take you 50 years. But the fact is, everything you could ever want, you already have. My Sangha knows that I also like to get inspiration from the page-a-day Zen calendar that I've been using for many years. So here's one from, it says the same thing in a negative way, from a few days ago, from Maharaji. Spirituality, or what you call, quotes, religion, is mainly to understand this: and you don't require anything. So this is, what is it? Why? Why is this true? It's more than just saying, oh, well, we learn to be content with what we have. That remains often too superficial. It's basically saying just this. But why is just this enough? Well, it's basically because this is everything. It's the whole universe. All you ever wanted, you already have, because you have and are the whole universe. So what else is there? That's the this that is just this. It's the universe, which you are. No less than Yasutani Roshi said that also a few days ago in the Zen calendar. He says, enlightenment is the direct awareness that you are more than this puny body or limited mind. Stated negatively, it is the realization that the universe is not external to you. Positively, it is experiencing the universe as yourself. So you are the whole universe. Wow. You know, when you think about it, or don't think about it, just feel it, just be it. That's what the Buddha's enlightenment was, if you remember the Denko Roku. As he saw the morning star, he woke up and he said, I am the great earth and all beings have here simultaneously achieved the way. Well, there are many koans like this. One of my favorites is where the master holds up the staff and the staff becomes a dragon, and the dragon swallows up the mountains and the rivers and the whole universe, because it is the whole universe. Everything and everyone is everything and everyone. It's the whole universe. It's what Dogen meant when he said at the end of his famous phrase, you know, to forget the self is to be one with the 10,000 things. To realize you are the universe. There are many beautiful images and symbols for this. In our own Zen tradition, you know, Manjusri rides a golden-haired lion. The Bodhisattva of wisdom, realization, rides a golden-haired lion in which every hair, golden hair, reflects every other golden hair. It's a in modern terms, we say it's holographic. Everything reflects everything else. Everything is everything else. In the Hindu tradition, it's quoted sometimes in ours, is Indra's net, the web of life, and at each, like a spider's web, and at each point there's a jewel, a shining jewel that reflects every other jewel, another holographic image. In modern terms, we might speak of the imaginal world. We might speak of the quantum field. The quantum field, quantum physics recognizes this truth, and how everything is connected. Another spiritual writer, among the basic truths of spirituality, puts it this way: the one is all, and all is one, and all are one. All are the one. He also says everything is here and now. So it's not just that he right now includes all times and all times. Everything is here and now. Here and now, the power of now. Now is the whole universe, all times and all places. Not to belabor the point, some of my favorite presentations of this are Amy's and Roshi's artwork, which I have up on my shelf up here. One of them is Dogen again, called Boundless. The true person is not anyone in particular, but like the deep blue color of the limitless sky, it is everyone, everywhere in the world. And can you imagine? No, don't imagine, experience. Everyone, everywhere in the world, all times and all places. Or the quote from the Upanishads, Amy and Roshi also. This little space within the heart is as great as the vast universe. The heavens and the earth are there, and the sun and the moon and the stars. Fire and lightning and winds are there, and all that now is and all that is not. So even every potential being you are. Wow. And by the way, that spiritual writer that I was just quoting, everything is here and now, and the one is all and the all are one. He purports to be channeling an extraterrestrial called Bashar. Okay, so he says it may just be my subconscious, but it's spirituality. It's great spirituality. And if he is doing that channeling, well, that's a reassurance that spirituality is the same everywhere in the universe, and that the universe includes that. So you're connected to all of that and all of them. Okay, so what? So you're the whole universe. So what does that mean? What does that entail? And what is that like? What is the experience of it? And here, I'd again like to quote, this is a Krishnamurti from the Page a Day calendar a few days ago. This is not just, in other words, not quoting yet. This is not just like blissfully piecing out or, spacing out, blissing out, He says very well, real silence is explosive. It is not the dead state of mind that spiritual seekers think it is. This is volcanic in its nature. It's bubbling all the time. The energy, the life, that is its quality. Yes, this is what we're connecting to. This is the dance of life. This is the very power and energy of the whole universe that we're connecting to here. Masao Abe, a Japanese writer, calls it dynamic shunyata, dynamic emptiness. It's what Teilhard de Chardin, the great Jesuit, is speaking about, and then the evolutionary power of the universe moving forward. So being one with the universe means you experience something that is dynamic, creative, evolutionary, and transformative. Dynamic, creative, evolutionary, and transformative. You are that. You are that. So you are that energy expanding and moving forward. This is where some of the great spiritual images that are cross cultural, interspiritual, come in. The notion of birth and death, how we're being born and dying, not just once but all the time. And but you are connecting to the physical birth and physical death of beings right here and now. How many beings are physically born and physically die right now, right today? But then also, of course, the mystical births and the mystical deaths that are going on. Joshu's great death, the dying and rising that we do every day, in Christian terms as well. Whereas one Zen writer said, with each action you do, you die and you rise, because it's a whole new evolutionary moment, transformative moment, dynamic moment that you're connecting to. So you're part of that thrust, or that bodhisattva thrust of compassion that's transforming, moving forward, every single being, wherever that being is in the universe, that is moving forward and reaching for greater love and healing and joy and peace. You're that. You are that. You're the catalyst. You are the energy of that. That's the bodhisattva. That's the Christian ideal as well. Jesus who went about healing, the Buddha who went about teaching and liberating all sentient beings. You're connecting to this incredible energy of compassion and love that you are. You can use the images of transformation, of the caterpillar to the butterfly, as many mystics do in many traditions. That utter transformation. It's a birth and a dying and a rising again. And even the images of the Eucharist can fit in here. Eucharist, we have the body of Christ, the body of the Buddha, the resurrected body. The body, it includes our whole being here. And the body of Christ, of course, which we are, the Buddha body, which we are. But the Eucharistic imagery is that of nourishing, of feeding. Everything in the universe is feeding us this energy that we are. It's feeding us. And we are feeding into that. So it's this exchange of nourishment. It's very Gurdjieffian, if those of you who know that tradition. So it's a magnificent image, of what is going on. But the final point I want to make is what this actually feels like. I mean, it's exhilarating, it's wonderful, it's transformative for us in our consciousness, of course, but you're connecting, as the Eucharist would say too, as Jesus's life shows, and anyone's life, you're connecting to the suffering of the universe as well as to the joy and to the dance. And in fact, the suffering is part of the dance and maybe even part of the joy, interestingly. Richard Rohr, to go back to Richard, I first heard this with him. I don't know if he was the first to say it, but it's one of the most profound things I've ever heard, and I may have quoted it before. He says, there's only one suffering, and there's only one joy. And they're the same thing. So somehow all this gets, the ultimate taste or quality of reality is joy. Yesterday's page-a-day calendar from Dzogchen Ponlop Rinpoche. Your mind is brilliantly clear, open, spacious, full of unconditional love, compassion, wisdom that sees things as they truly are. It's a mind of joy. That's who you really are. This is the true nature of your mind and the mind of everyone. There's just one, after all, right? But your mind doesn't just sit there being perfect, doing nothing. It's at play all the time, creating your world, creating the world. It's this brilliant dance of joy and compassion and love that's dynamic, creative, transformative. So, as I say, don't think about that. Sit there and experience it and allow yourself to wake up to it, as the Buddha did under the morning star. But that's what is. So I said I was going to use that as the launching pad, just to bring the rocket start back down to Earth as we conclude. Today is and tomorrow's page a day. From the wonderful Joanna Macy, wonderful spiritual writer. You are held within the web of life, within flows of energy and intelligence far exceeding your own. When you remain in your little self, but that's not your real self. Just you are the web of life with the flows of energy and intelligence. I would add. And finally, from an Eastern writer, Anandamurti, you are never alone or hopeless. The force that guides the stars guides you too. Or as Dante would say, the love that moves the stars, the sun and all the stars. Tattvamasi, that's you. You are that. So wow, experience it.